Welcome back to the channel and welcome to another mod spotlight video. I've been doing these every month for the last couple of months, and today we've got 3 new mods that I'm trying out that have been released either this month or mods that I've discovered this month. Shout out to Rob Earth, one of my subscribers who helped me find one of these mods. So let's get started. So we've come down here to the terrestrial part of the park because 2 of the mods today are related to species. One is a new species and one is 2 new variants. Let's take a look at the new species first. This is the Osaurus mod by Glitch. Now Glitch does a lot of new species mods. I've got a lot of his in the park, and this is one of his best species yet for me. Osaurus is quite a unique ceratopsian due to its very bizarre 90-degree angled nasal horn, so it does have quite a unique shape compared to other ceratopsians. Now I believe these are based on the Chasmosaurus rig, so they're a sort of on the smaller side, which is quite nice, but you have this very ornate set of frill horns as well as the weird nasal horn. What I love about this particular species mod is that the skin is, or the chosen skin patterns and stuff are quite simple, but quite distinct, and they're so much nicer than the base game ceratopsian skins for me. They just work a lot better, and this mod does take advantage of expanded colors as well, so there are a lot of options for possible color combinations for the Osaurus, so you can really find a skin that works for you. It's nothing particularly overly special, but it's just an alternative sort of replacement for Chasmosaurus, should you want something a little more interesting. Now the second mod is strictly for variants to the GALLIMIMUS, and this is by Viral Cyclops. So let's get out the first of the new variants. So you can see that the new variants just add a lot more distinct colorations and sort of patterning to each of the GALLIMIMUS. This is variant 1. There is a second variant which we'll release in a minute, and they all have the advantage of expanded color core. So in a minute what I'll do is I'll head to the species viewer so that you can see some of the variant expanded color core variant colors, and you'll get a better feel for what this mod really does. Let's go ahead and release second variant. Now you can see what this variant does is it essentially makes the Jurassic Park sort of white splotchy skin a variant which you can have in the park and alter the color combinations of it. And again, it takes advantage of expanded color score in order to give you a wide range of possible colorations for the pattern. Let's see if I can find another one around here. Now not all of them work. That is one of the issues with sort of expanded colors, is that some of the color combinations really do not work, but there is enough that you can find some really nice patterns that really do work on some of these animals. Let's go and have a look in the species viewer and we'll take a better look at some of these different patterns. So let's start with the Osaurus here, and you can see the model in a lot more detail, and you can see that we've got a lot more variant colorations here, the base game colors, and then we have a bunch of extra variant colors as well on top of that, such as this really vibrant green and really vibrant purple and quite vibrant blue. Let's just see if I can find one that I really like in terms of color. I really do quite like this marbled brown and brown. or this orange, for example. And then from here, you then also have extra pattern colors. So you have the base patterns, which are these sorts of dull colors. And then you have these extra patterns that are really brightly colored. I actually want to double check because I think these might be. Let me just change the time of day. Oh no, so they're not Lux. I thought they might have been, but they might not be Lux, but they do have a certain sort of almost glow to them. But I just really like how simple the pattern is, but how vivid the pattern is. And I like the fact it's just on the frill and not the whole body as well. So it means that you can just sort of enjoy the speckled frill for your sort of male colorations and that sort of thing. So yeah, that was the Osaurus. Let's go find the GALLIMIMUS. So, where are we? So this is obviously the base game variant, where you have stripes and the sort of saddle and the bits on the tail. And then you have the GALLIMIMUS 1993 skin. Wasn't that supposed to have splotches on it? I think this mod might have broken that one. And then you have these two variants. So this is variant 1, and basically what this does is it's going to make the body colors a lot more diverse. So you've got a lot more possibilities in terms of body color that you can choose from, thanks to, again, expanded colors mod. Where was that sort of nice? Quite like that brown, actually. It's a very nice brown color there. And then of course, and then you have all these different patterns on top. So these ones from Rana through to Pelophylax, these are actually the Shonisaurus patterns. I recognize these. Looks really quite cool with that Shonisaurus pattern on, actually. So you've got the Shonisaurus colors, and then you have a bunch of extra variants in that color. So you can have some really quite vibrant displays. I know these aren't necessarily going to be, these aren't necessarily going to be for everybody. You know, some people prefer their dinosaurs to be a little plainer, but if you are having a particular park with a particular theme, I mean, this could be a volcanic GALLIMIMUS easily. I mean, look how bright that is. I personally love vivid colorations on dinosaurs. You know, it might not necessarily be realistic. There's got to be sort of a middle ground, and I think there is a middle ground here, because you can also have some color patterns that are a bit more, say, normal. I would say that's not particularly excessively violent with the vibrant, with the grey and the yellow there. What other colours have we got here? We've got, again, something more simple, just a variation of the blacks or the browns or the greys. Some of these I would say are quite normal, and some of these I would say are really very not normal. So yeah, I really do love this expanded colours mod. And then here is obviously the extra variant 3. So again, we've got a range of slightly different colour combinations on the body. And then on top of that, you then have these patterns. And again, I think these first ones are based on the Shonisaurus. So you've got the sort of similar Shonisaurus colorations. And then you have a range of expanded colors on top of that, all matching the sort of expanded colors core mod. If you've used this mod for a while, you'll recognize most of these. And you've got a range from relatively normal patterns to really quite distinct and vibrant patterns. So it just gives you a greater flexibility, really. And I think this GALLIMIMUS mod really points the way towards what they should do with Jurassic World Evolution 3, in which we have a range of patterns we can put on the dinosaurs and keep the colors. You know, this is what we want. We want to be able to pick a particular coloration and pattern for each animal. It's not just colorations now. We want to be picking the patterns too. It really does add a certain something to the dinosaur, in my opinion. Right, let's move on to our last mod. And to look at this last mod, we're going to have to go to a completely empty square map for the best effect. So welcome to a square map, and this next mod comes from Scaryface and Ben124 on Nexus Mods, and was pointed out to me by Rob Earth, who actually used some parts from this particular mod in his Battle of the Builders mod that he uploaded for Evo's competition that's going on at the moment. And basically what this mod does is it adds all the structures that are present on maps into your decorations tab for you to use. So you'll find all of them underneath the facility decorations, and I'm just going to put them all down so we can have a look. So this is obviously the runway from the Isla Sorna map, and then we have the Isla Sorna sort of building structure that was there, and then you have the Isla Sorna background objects. So if you wanted to make, say, an abandoned park, you could definitely use some of these to sort of create a staff area. I mean, you can sort of get a general gist of the shapes of each of these buildings and what they're supposed to be. This one here is obviously definitely like one of the vet buildings they've just made in a like low res poly version. Obviously they're not very detailed and there's a few rough edges, but you could cover them up with like trees and stuff. I mean, let's just put in a few. Let's just grab the good old ginkgo brush. That's it. That's also interesting. So it looks like the vegetation brushes actually work through them. So each of these, the hitboxes are relatively minimal. So you can easily create like an overgrown effect to these buildings relatively easily. So next we have Owen and Claire's cabin from Jurassic World Dominion, complete with wood chopping block where they have that conversation with Maisie, the solar panels on the roof. Yeah, just a nice simple sort of cabin building. If you wanted to give maybe you were building a naturalistic park, you know, an open park, sort of Site B style, and you wanted to have some background decoration, you could use this. You could also use it as just something to have in a dinosaur enclosure, like just something a bit weird and random to have as background scenery. That would also work quite well. I'm going to actually lift this one up with Kaikor's mod, because obviously you need to be able to see this one. This is obviously the Jurassic Park 3 parachute without its Dino Fly or something branding. But yeah, the Jurassic Park 3 parachute there, so if you wanted to add like a little bit of background detail again, you can use that. And then we have, good lord, this is absolutely colossal. This is obviously the Pennsylvania airstrip, and look at that, it actually takes up the entire width of a square map. This is really too large to be usable in my opinion. It's just too big and has that problem that a lot of mods have with new buildings, that they do disappear when your camera goes over them. But yeah, this Pennsylvania airstrip, it's just too big and too long really to be usable. Let's have a look at the other bits of the airfield. We do have some interesting bits though. So we've got these Pennsylvania airstrip lights. Now these are, I believe they're for the instrument landing system, or ILS, that airports use to guide planes in to land. And I think if we take the time of day to night, so you can see they do kind of have a light effect. It's not perfect, but you know, they do have a little bit of a light effect. And then we have a range of hangar buildings, basically all from Pennsylvania. So you've got these really large double hangars. Some of these I think are more useful than others. Obviously the air traffic control tower, I think makes for a really good just sort of watchtower. So if you wanted to have, say, this with an ACU building or something like that, or have this like as a watchtower for the center of a park, especially sort of a high security park, because this does give me sort of high security vibes. That, you know, would work really well for that. We've got a couple of much smaller buildings, so not every building is massive, and I honestly think that sort of hangar building is just, again, it's a bit too large for Jurassic World Evolution 2's park building. But you've got some other smaller buildings that could, you know, work as offices or warehouses. You know, they've got rough detailing on them. So it's just a range of sort of garages and basic buildings. I suppose if you wanted to make a park that was sort of based around, you know, a city or something, then these would work quite nicely. This is another really big building. Again, a little too large, I think, for Jurassic World Evolution 2's building styles. I mean, it's difficult to tell. Some of these, they look absolutely enormous, but everything is overscaled in this game anyway. So, I mean, what do these look like? Let's grab like let's just grab like an operations building. Oh yeah, these are way oversized. Like way too big. Like, where's the innovation center? Yeah, way too big. So yeah, a lot of these conventional buildings I don't think are going to be very useful to the average park builder. I really don't think I could use them anywhere. Again, unless you wanted to build like a mock city and have them in there. But there is a couple of buildings that I think will be useful. Primarily the smaller ones, but these two tanks, I think you could really make something out of this. And this is where I saw these tanks were what I saw in Rob Earth's park when he was doing his park tour video, and he used them as sort of mock filtration tanks for, I think it was an aquarium or a lagoon. And I was like, oh, that's a really good idea. So I think you could really use these as like mock filtration around a lagoon structure that you have, or perhaps some sort of waste recycling structure that you have. So for me, that's going to be the most useful of what this particular mod does. And then we have some, again, really excessively large concrete sections that would be around all of these buildings. Again, these are all from the Pennsylvania airport, so most of them are going to be kind of useless in my opinion for general park building. You have some of these like bizarre concrete pieces, which, you know, maybe if you wanted to make sort of a car park, which, you know, that is something that I know a lot of players, or a particular brand of players does do for their parks. Maybe if you wanted to make a car park, maybe this is the way to do it. Like, instead of putting down a bunch of path, put down some of these concrete pads, and then use like wall pieces and planter pieces and light pieces to create the individual alcoves and stuff. Maybe that's a better way of making a car park now. Or if you wanted to create like a purely facility area of the park, you could just have this as a big piece of concrete and put everything down on top of it. The last thing we obviously have, again from the Jurassic Park 3 map, is Sloane, is the bits of plane wreck. And again, I think if you're building an abandoned park, or you want to build, you know, a version of the Jurassic Park 3 map, then this is obviously going to be really helpful to you if you want to have that sort of post-apocalyptic feel in your parks. That's obviously also going to work. Now, I'm just going to have a quick look at something. I want to... Yeah, so all of these buildings basically have no hitboxes. So you can put vegetation through them. So if you wanted to sort of bury stuff, I suppose you could. But like I say, I think the airport buildings, I think, are just too large to be relevant to most park builders. But I think the Jurassic Park 3 is Sloane map pieces, this abandoned staff facility, the bits of plane, the abandoned airfield and such. I think they're going to be very useful. For me, And I think that these large filtration silos are also going to be really useful for me in my park building. And, you know, it's all about imagination and creativity and having the modular, well, I say modular, having the fabricated pieces to make something. Now, I don't think there are any other, I'm just going to do a quick check. I don't think there are any other buildings I've missed from here. I have so many buildings as a result of mods, I have to, you know, double check everything. Yeah, no, I think that is everything. Yep, no, it is absolutely everything. So yeah, just, this is a nice mod to have because I have seen a lot of people wanting the buildings off the pre-built maps just for the, you know, the ability to create their own park ideas. So thank you Scary Face and Ben. This is a useful mod, and I certainly will be getting quite a lot of use out of these abandoned park pieces. I think might do my own sort of abandoned Jurassic Park or Isla Sorna or something like that. But yeah, let me know down in the comments if you'd like to use any of these mods, or if you're using any of these mods already, or if I have missed some mods that you would like me to go over in these videos. Let me know down in the comments. Don't forget while you're there to like and subscribe if you're new to Triclaw Gaming, and I will see you next time. Until then, stay safe and goodbye.